Alright, y'all. I know I said I was going to actually have this out on Friday, but unfortunately, I had some issues with my camera. It was really glitching out. Audio was just messing up. I have no idea why, so I have to re-record this. And I pretty much read your questions earlier, so I have an idea exactly on what you guys were going to ask me. But like I said, with the criteria before, one of the main ones is I am not answering any racist questions, which includes Black Lives Matter. I am not answering any of those. So if you sent me anything based on Black Lives Matter, I will not in any way, shape, or form answer them. Unfortunately, that means that any question that you sent me on Donald Trump, and there's one person that did, I'm going to have to answer it because I didn't add it in part of my main criteria when I started this. So, but if it's based on race, I'm still not going to answer it. Anything based on racism, I'm not going to answer it in general. If it's about the person, I guess I gotta answer that too. It's just to be fair. But other than that, guys, let's get started with the first set of questions that I have from Largest85 and Real Harold from Twitter. I'm gonna get started with Real Harold first. His first question for me is this: did Nature Girl ever watch the original Baywatch in the 90s? Yep, I did. I enjoyed it. Wasn't bad. Interesting. I mean, interesting episodes, but then started going downhill after a few more seasons. After maybe mid-season, started going downhill. But yeah, that's just me personally. Wasn't bad at all. Second question: did Nature Girl ever think that Pamela Anderson from the 90s looked like a young Trish Stratus? I can see some similarities. They're both really petite. I think that they're both short. But yeah, I can see some similarities, but not completely. I think that Trish Stratus is a little bit stronger than Pamela Anderson, by far. Your third question, and this is gonna probably be your final one because the other two is about Black Lives Matter. So I'm going to go straight to your fifth one. What does Nature Girl think of Girl Meets World being in its last season? Now, it's not gonna air until next year. It's gonna be its last season for Disney. It's a possibility that it might move to Freeform, and if it does, I'll be incredibly happy because it'll give that show a lot of potential. It'll give it its chance to spread its wings and to talk about topics that are a lot more controversial and a lot more to the times. So I'll be happy when it moves to Freeform. Disney's kind of holding it back. It doesn't mean to, but Disney actually does have a name, a well-known name, and they gotta stick to it. So I get it. But they'll have much better potential going to another channel instead of being on Disney. That's just me. All right, thank you, Real Harold, for sending me those sets of questions. Now let's get started with Largest85. His questions for me, as soon as I get pulled up, is this. And yeah, you have a few racist questions, so I will not answer them. But I will answer your third one that you have for me. Will Eva Marie get hated even worse now than before? Since she's getting pushed, since she got pushed to the main roster. This is before SummerSlam, and this is also before her suspension. So honestly, no, I don't think she's gonna get hated even more because now it's okay to be a fan of hers, and she actually is developing a red army. I am one of them. I am a fan of Eva Marie because she's a true heel and she knows how to play it out. But honestly, she's suspended right now for a whole month. She ended up missing SummerSlam. And now we have Nikki Bella on the Blue brand. And now they're going to have a whole new women's title, which actually does look a lot. Well, it's completely similar to the main one, but it's blue. Other than that, more than likely Nikki Bella is going to be the champ. But I would love to see the heat put on Eva Marie because she will have so much heat on that belt. It'll bring a huge amount of importance to it. So I'm looking forward for her going to the title when she goes back. And I don't think she's going to be even more hated. She'll be even more hated when she becomes a champion. But at this point, she's tolerable, at least in my opinion. I don't think anybody can be hated more than Eva Marie. But your next question is this, number 4. Does the name Alexa Bliss sound like a poor name? Yes, it does sound like a porn name. Like, I'm sorry, it kind of does. But even her finisher doesn't make any sense to me. But all I know is that there's nothing blissful about Alexa Bliss. She's pretty much one of the best snarky heels there is out there. Well, at least, I mean, she's a pretty good heel, pretty decent heel. Fairly snarky. Very snarky. Who am I kidding? But yeah, it does sound like a porn name, and it doesn't really fit her character that much, in my opinion. But your final question for me is this: what did you think of the main antagonist of Tomb Raider 2013 game, Father Matthias? Father Matthias fits every single last enemy or big bad boss there is in a Tomb Raider game. Because Tomb Raiders, come on, it's always circled around a cult, just like how Indiana Jones is circled around the Nazis. It has to happen. Like, it has to be some kind of a massive cult in a Tomb Raider game. But it worked. Tomb Raider is one of my favorite games. I'm so happy they revamped it. I'm so happy they just rebooted it. It's amazing. I cannot wait until I get an Xbox One, because I'm actually planning on getting an Xbox One S, to where I will actually be able to get I can also get an Xbox 360, but it'll actually look better on the Xbox One. I want to get the next Rise of Tomb Raider. I want to get that game because I heard it was great. Unfortunately, it got eclipsed by a whole lot of other games coming out. But honestly, I want to get that game when I get my Xbox One. Seriously. And I think it's going to be an amazing game. But yeah, I like Father Matthias. The only problem is that the final battle didn't feel like a final battle at all. It was incredibly short. It wasn't it wasn't like a one-on-one gunfight or something to where he was just larger than life. It was none of that. And that was the most disappointing thing. Getting there was the toughest part. But beating him was easy. That's the sad part. I kind of wanted a bit of a challenge like all the other Tomb Raider big boss games. Especially the first one, when you had to fight an Atlantean Natla. That was hard. But I thought it was going to be the same thing with this, but not the same thing, but a little bit more challenging for the next gen, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's the only sad part. But yeah, he was a pretty decent character, especially playing the evil one. Good character. Now, I am done with Twitter altogether, so let's get started with the ones that is via YouTube. And like I said, I am not answering any Black Lives Matter questions. So, but the ones that I actually do have on here is Just Inside, Final Limits, and Punisher 249. I'll get started with Just Inside's question first. Eva ain't so perfect now, is she? What kind of excuse will you come up with to defend her drug suspension? Okay, I'm not going to come up with an excuse. I'm going by the cold hard facts, okay? She takes Adderall. Lord knows why. But it's kind of funny how, from what I'm hearing, that Roman Reigns got in trouble for Adderall. As well as Adam Rose, who is now gone, that got in trouble for Adderall. I don't know, why would they even need Adderall? But I have my own personal theories about that. Other than that, she didn't turn her paperwork in on time. In my opinion, she should have been fined and not suspended. And I still think it's a little bit of a conspiracy. But the only person that knows the truth is Vince McMahon and Paul Levesque. They're the only two that know. But other than that, I don't think it's fair that she got slapped with 30 days instead of being slapped with a fine for not turning in her correct paperwork. Just saying. But yeah, she got in trouble for Adderall. But if she had paperwork on it, they should have fined her for it instead of suspended her. Just saying. But no, I don't consider that to be an excuse. In my opinion, that's kind of it makes sense. Kind of a no-brainer. Next is Final Limits. Did you know that Rowan Blanchard cried because there were rumors about her being spread about her being fake? Well, fake friendships. That's not how you said it, pretty much. I'm just trying. Well, anyway, get the idea. But as for Rowan Blanchard, I don't know her per se. I don't know if she is being fake or not. The only thing I do know is that, yeah, I actually did read that tweet. And it's a shame because you really can't say that somebody's fake unless you know them. And if you don't know them, you really can't say anything. Just saying. But if she is being fake, it'll come out eventually. If she's not, she's not. But people make their own conclusion. Next, Punisher 249. Speaking of Trump, do you think he's a racist? Why and why not? It's pretty much all on tape, man. I don't even think I need to repeat myself. Just go back to the beginning of the year and listen to Donald Trump speak, especially about any ethnicity that comes out of his mouth. That'll answer your question right then and there. Next, Final Limits. What do you think about Eva Marie being suspended on her first violation of the wellness policy, along with Del Rio? Well, you called him another name, but I won't go there. Del Taco and Paige, which is kind of jacked up and kind of racist. But other than that, I'll say this. I think it's unfair that Eva Marie did get suspended just like I said before, because she actually had documentation about her taking Adderall. She just didn't get it in on time, and I think she should have been fined instead of being suspended. Just saying. As for Del Rio and Paige, we don't know what was in their systems, in their system, but they're saying it's possibly party drugs, which means they could have roofied themselves. I don't know. But all I know is that they actually did find legitimate drugs in their system. That was not documented, so hey, they violated the wellness policy. There you go. But in my opinion, the wellness policy is starting to become a joke. The next set of questions comes from Justin Side. Thoughts on Bret Hart being a whiny prick? Yeah, I don't consider him one, but all I do know is that Bret Hart may be a little bit sour, and I guess he has every right to be, but in a way, it's time to move on, dude. Seriously, if he is, I don't know. I haven't listened to any podcasts. I have no idea what's going on with Bret Hart, but I do know that there are some things that have a little bit of a bitter taste in his mouth, but it seems like he moved on from it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't consider him to be completely bitter, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Moving on to Final Limits. What is your reaction when you've heard that Christina Grimmie got shot to death while hanging out with her fans? I found out by watching Elena Nicole's video about Christina. About Christina. That she got shot by a fan, which is pretty crazy. And that kind of shocked me, and I was floored when I heard that. But honestly, it's a shame. It really is. There are people that actually take the whole realm of fiction too far, and they think that when you see these videos, they think this is the person. I'm not gonna lie. When I come out here and actually do my videos, this is me. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not trying to hide anything from anyone. But it's a shame that people actually do take it too far and just get themselves engulfed in it. And it's a shame of what happened to her. It really, really is. I think she was on the X Factor. But other than that, rest in peace. God rest her soul. It's a shame of what that dude did. It really is. Alright, from Punisher249. Why is it that no matter what Donald Trump says, the media still gets mad at him? He has been honest to a fault throughout this entire campaign. He has been correcting people when even his own PR folks try to correct him. He is legit when what he says. This is what his emotions are coming out of his mouth. He doesn't hide anything or sugarcoat nothing. This is who he is. And who he is scary. So whether or not you have your own opinions of Trump, it's up to you. But it's on your screen. It's on television every single day. I don't have to say anything bad about him. I don't even have to say anything about him. It's out there. It's scary for some of the things that he says. It's terrifying. And it's even more scary that people are getting behind him when he's literally legit about this stuff. It's scary. But other than that, the media don't really have to make him seem like a bad guy. He can do that all by himself. But moving on from there to Justin's side. Thoughts on Girl Meets World ending. Who is to blame? Honestly, there's really nobody to blame here. The thing is that, okay, Girl Meets World is a Disney creation, but Boy Meets World was not. Boy Meets World came out before Disney bought it. So it's actually based off of a really, really popular series that lasted, I think, about 7 or 8 seasons. And it was really popular, not only with adults, but with kids and adults now. So it has a huge fan base. The only problem is that Disney can only go so far. They have an actual episode cap. Their episode cap is at maybe about 4 episodes. Sometimes they do extend it depending on the popularity. But when it comes to this, and this is my theory, Girl Meets World is so popular, it's drowning out the rest of their shows. So I wouldn't be surprised they're actually okay with letting it go. I'm fine with letting it go because I want it to be as detailed and as deep as it was when the original was on the air. When they had Boy Meets World on the air, I really do honestly want to see Girl Meets World be at its full potential. So I'm kind of happy that it is leaving Disney, because I really do feel that Disney's going to change it to Freeform. And if that's the case, Disney's going to let us know that we're going to see Girl Meets World to Freeform. They're going to lose a lot of people watching the show. They're going to lose a lot of watchers of the channel for a bit, but then they'll gain more. But then they'll go to Freeform that they do own, and they'll gain more there. So it's not really a lose-lose for them, in my opinion. But other than that, yeah, I'm kind of fine with them going off the air on Disney. And I'll be happy if they go to Freeform. Last question, final limits. Do you agree with Bret Hart saying that Seth Rollins ended Sting's career? Or do you think Bret needs to shut up? Okay, I'm not going to go there. I don't know what's up with you guys being all hateful and racist all of a sudden. But look, all I'm saying is this. Bret Hart, if he, honestly, let's be real. Seth Rollins kind of did. I mean, I'm sorry. Seth Rollins did a move, and even though Sting told him to, or Sting wanted him to be himself, it injured him. It injured him to where he was out. Even though he was told to do it, Seth executed the move. Seth put him on the shelf. Seth did it. I'm sorry. It was there. A lot of Seth fans don't want to hear it, but he executed the move. He did it. He put him on the shelf. Nothing bitter against Seth Rollins. Nothing bitter against Sting. Even though you guys know how I feel about Sting. But other than that, Seth Rollins did what he did. And him doing what he did put him on the shelf. There you go. That's my opinion on that. But guys, that is it for me. Thank you for sending me questions. And if you want to send more questions for October, send them starting on October 1st. And the deadline for the end of the questions will be on the 8th. So it'll be the 1st and the 8th of every month. I'm just going to stick it to that. Unless there's a pay-per-view around that week, then I'll probably change it up. But it's going to be the 1st and the 8th of every month. The 1st with questions starting and the 8th ending it. And then that's when I'm going to record afterwards, and then that'll just be it for the month. So I'll leave the instructions on the credits for you guys to look at. But other than that, guys, I am done. Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.